welcome back to our channel. For today's video, we asked you guys on Instagram to ask us some co-parenting questions. So we are going to answer them today while we are getting ready and getting our hair done.
Woo!
Yes. So I have the question on my phone over here.
Yes.
We're just gonna go through them.
Holy Jesus, that's a lot
I
of
know,
questions.
it was a lot of questions. So the first one says, how did you build that friendship? So I'm guessing, how did we build our friendship? You want to start?
We built our friendship off of obviously having a mutual, a child, you know,
Yeah.
like we have to be in each other's lives anyway, and having a mutual child definitely helps because it gives us something to talk about.
Yes.
Also, we just have a whole lot in common, so it was pretty easy to form a friendship because we have literally everything in common. We have the same sense of humor, we like the same stuff, we like shopping at the same places.
Yes.
So it was just,
I think it was
really
easy to build a friendship once we got to know each other. Just like with any person that you meet, when you have similar interests and you want to do the same things, you want to do it with someone else. So you kind of be like, let's go do this together. That's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we built the friendship.
Common ground. I mean, obviously I know her husband pretty well.
Yeah, that's true.
And we have a child that we share together, and you know,
And the rest is history.
the rest is history.
Yes. The second question we got is, how long did it take you two to become friends? I feel like people are always asking us that, like, how long did it take us to become friends, or were we always friends?
Yeah.
I think that's like a bit of a complex. Once we got to know each other, I think it was pretty instant. Don't burn your hair off on camera because I will be uploading it regardless. Once we got to know each other, I think we became friends pretty instant.
Yeah.
But before then, to actually talk and get to know each other, I think it was about 3-4 years.
Yeah, it was a while, just because, you know, we both grew up in families where we had step parents, but you know, it was kind of known that they didn't like each other and they didn't get along, and so we kind of thought it was going to be the same way for us. Like, you don't involve yourself with the other's family, basically. You don't like each other, you're not supposed to hang out, so we didn't know being friends was an option.
Yeah. Another question we have is, what is the time sharing agreement? You can answer that.
We have 50-50. 1 week at her house, 1 week at my house. We alternate holidays. Actually, our original agreement was, we do have 50-50, but we were doing it before COVID. 2 days at my house, 2 days at their house, and then we would alternate weekends. But because of COVID and us having to homeschool our oldest, we just decided to do it week to week, because at that point I think we were living like 45 minutes from each other.
Yeah, it was gonna be
a drive every week.
Yeah, it was gonna be awkward to do 2-3 times a week switching off, and I was still working at the time as well, so just to be able to do that was just gonna be a lot. Ooh, I touched my finger with it.
We do have certain, you know, things. Like I said, we do have alternating holidays. Birthdays, obviously I get him for Mother's Day, his dad gets him for Father's Day, things like that. And anything else, it's in the paperwork. So,
yeah.
But luckily for us, since we do get along, we have never used our parenting plan. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier that we can discuss things, but still have that foundation of having the plan to really go back to it when we can't figure out something. Someone is blowing us up. Oh, it is. They are.
I love that for us.
The next question we have is, someone said Bryson. I can't. How is Bryce's relationship with Mike?
Oh my god.
I feel like at least me speaking personally, I think Bryce turns Mike like into a 4-year-old all over again.
When we got here today, he saw Mike's friend's car outside and he was like, whose car is that? And I was like, oh, that's Mike's friend's car. He was like, oh, I'm gonna go inside and say hi to Mike. And that's what he did. He literally ran inside today.
Instantly.
When we walked in the house, because we had to carry some stuff in, we found Bryce standing right next to him in the office.
I know.
He'll go in there all the time and just pull up a seat right next to him and...
Yep. Literally turns Mike into a 4-year-old, so then we're having to yell at the both of them because they're so loud making ruckuses.
Yes! And like, he's always making them do bad stuff, like jump on the couch and
taking that Macarena thing and just making the loudest of noises.
Yes, he's literally a giant child.
They're both instigators, I can't.
Both so. Mike and Travis are both freaking giant children.
Love us raising 4 children.
It's literally how it feels, I swear.
The next question. Oh, it's not a question, but they said, I'm with older teenagers. It breaks my heart that the bio dad is absent. Want participate. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's something that we never wanted to have. That situation happened. I know I had a parent who wasn't around a lot when I was younger. And I definitely didn't want that for Michael or for any child really, because it bothers children more than you can think of.
And it sticks with them for life too.
Yeah.
Like that'll affect them for the rest of their lives. Like, you have to remember that.
Which is why, like, when people get so mad that they're like, I don't know why, like, you guys can do that. You guys are gonna mess up the kids or confuse the kids. It's like they have 4 parents to always look up to and to talk to and to have for support and to have it out their games and events and whatever. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't we want that when there's kids out there that, you know, don't even get to have the 2. They have 1 or they don't have any. So
yeah. And I mean, like, they're super lucky because as much as we are all alike, I really do feel like all 4 of us bring something different to the table. So as much as we are alike, we all bring something unique. So if Michael, you know, wants to talk to us about something, but he doesn't want to talk to me, or he doesn't want to talk to his dad, but he thinks, you know, Tiffany, he can talk to her, he can talk to Travis, and each one of us has something we can bring to each of the kids, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think if it only just benefits them. So we are grateful that people also see it as something as inspiring, something that they can, you know, try to achieve if you do get stuck in a situation such as divorce. But repeating, like we've repeated time and time again, we don't encourage people getting divorced. We definitely encourage people working on their marriages.
If you're 14 years old, do not say you can't wait to start co-parenting, because you should work on your marriage and don't get married unless, you know you're going to be married forever. Don't go into a marriage thinking, well, if I get divorced one day. That's not what we're saying.
Yes, and we're not glamorizing, because I know people have used that word, that we're glamorizing co-parenting, or we're glamorizing people, you know, leaving their relationships to go start blended families. That's not the case at all. I mean, being the stepmom, like, I don't want my future children to have a, you know, blended family and step parents and stuff like that. We're just showing that if you do end up getting in a situation like this, you really can turn it into a positive. But we never say that we're glamorizing it or we're supporting people ending their marriages. That's a misconception that so many people seem to get from our page, and that's not the case at all.
Yes, you can easily go have your real best friend go through pregnancy with you. You do not have to divorce your husband to have a best friend and raise your children with them. It just so happens that I met my best friend through co-parenting.
Oh no, it clicked out. Hold on. Did you gals always get along from day one, or was it something that took time?
I think we kind of touched on that with the other question. We never hated each other. We were never nasty to each other. She's never been mean to me, and I think it's fair to say that I've never been mean to you.
I'm gonna record that and save that forever.
I was talking about in the beginning. She's mean to me now.
For all the times that you're like, you're so mean, I'm gonna be like, you said on YouTube, you're never mean to me.
She hit me with a box in the head today. In the beginning.
You said something. You said something smart, alecky. I don't remember what it was. And I just saw the box and I saw your head, and the rest was history.
Whatever.
I don't even remember what it was.
That is the truth. Well, in the beginning, she wasn't mean to me. But like I said, we didn't know we had the option to be friends, but when we did actually start talking, it was like night and day. Like, we haven't stopped talking since.
Yes. I mean, people used to say that we look alike all the time and we don't see it, but we can tell by our personalities that we're like, oh my God, we are so much more alike than we thought we were. And good luck, Mike.
Yeah.
How long did it? Oh, we answered that. Someone else said, how long did it take for you guys to be friends?
No time at all.
Someone said, again, how long did it take for you guys to be friends? Struggling with my ex's new girlfriend currently. If that's something that you're struggling with currently, well, I mean, stay hopeful because it definitely does take time. Megan and I, when we first met, we obviously didn't just like shake hands and become besties. It was definitely awkward and uncomfortable because we didn't really know what to do or how to be in the situation. So even both of us being in the room together was very, very weird and uncomfortable for the both of us. We didn't hate each other. We just kind of looked at each other like
we don't know
what do we do?
Yeah.
Like how do I do this? You know, this is the ex and this is the new one, and we're just like, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
So it was more awkward than anything, not outside in the parking lot throwing hands.
I will say, if it's something that you want to do and it does mean a lot to you, I would try to like voice that to her. Be like, hey, you know, I'm not trying to steal your man or whatever. Like, I want us to be cordial. At least you don't have to say I don't want us to be best friends. Just, you know, let her know where you stand. Why, if you guys don't get along, find out why you don't get along. Like, what happened. Figure that out. And then, you know, if it's nothing and it's just, you know, who reaches out to who first. If it means a lot to you, reach out. Send her a card on her birthday. Thank her for being, you know, a mother in your child's life. Or if you're the stepmom, you know, she's the bio mom. So yeah, just say thank you. That's what I did with her. You know, just say thank you for, you know, everything you've done for my son. He would talk about her all the time when I would go pick him up about how much he likes her and all the stuff that they do. And I mean, like, what else could you want for a mother? If you have to split your time with someone else, and it might as well be a good person, and you can either make it awkward and weird, or you can, you know, appreciate the person. As long as it's a good person and they genuinely love your kids, I mean, you should definitely be trying to get along with them. Appreciate it, you know? And there's nothing else that you want as a mother than someone else to love your children.
How was it for both of you in the beginning?
I already answered that, I feel like.
I mean, in the beginning, it was a little bit different. I think in the beginning, when I found out that I had to like meet you and get to know you, I was kind of like, no, not no, like I didn't want to meet you, but like no, like I'm like, holy crap, because I knew when Mike said he had a kid, like, okay, I'm gonna have to take on the role of like being this like parental figure. Like, is this gonna be a woman who's gonna be like, oh my God, hey, welcome?
That was me.
Or, you know, you guys were still arguing at the time, so I knew, I was like, oh, there's tension still between them, and then now I'm here, now I'm gonna add to the tension. I knew I was gonna add to the tension. So I was like, oh no, and then I was like, and then I had to see, but I didn't like, we're gonna get a little bit personal here. I didn't know what you looked like or anything in the beginning, so I was like, what does she look like? Like, how is she? Is she nice? Is she mean? Like, how do I creep on her without, like, her knowing that I'm creepy? Because, you know, I'm nosy as hell. I can open up to say that to everyone. I'm nosy as hell.
Lucky for you, I didn't know how to use social media, like, how to figure that out, so.
So I was definitely, like, nervous to, like, know who you are and stuff like that. And the fact that you guys were still trying to figure out co-parenting and whatnot, so I couldn't really be like, hey, like, let's all meet and get to know each other or whatnot. Kind of made it very nervous with me being like, I know, like, she's gonna have to meet me eventually to know that, like, I'm watching her child. Like, that's how I would feel, but I don't know how we do this or how we set it up. Do I reach her myself? Do I ask Mike to reach her? And I was like, this is also just, like, new and terrifying. And then knowing that I was a lot younger than the both of you, I was like, you know, is age gonna be a factor? Yeah, so I think I was very nervous in the beginning, but definitely never looked at you and was like, I'm gonna hate this woman. Like, I'm gonna hate her. Although I did think about that yesterday.
And for me, I mean, it was, you know, obviously when you get divorced, you know that more than likely the person's not gonna be single forever. So I was kind of already mentally prepared for it. And I mean, I knew that Mike was gonna have to deal with it too because I was dating as well.
Yeah.
So
so these questions kind of go together. do you have any disagreements on how to discipline the boys? And how do you handle when you can't come to an agreement on a parenting decision? I guess if you want to start with that one.
So do we have any disagreements on disciplining the boys?
Yes.
Not really. Our whole thing with co-parenting is we want things to be as uniform at both houses as possible to make things least confusing for the kids. So if Michael is in trouble at one house, he's in trouble at my house as well, because we are a family unit, and we're not doing, Sunday he's acting up here, but he knows Monday he's coming back to my house and he can play video games. That's not fair. It's not right. And same thing with Bryce. If he gets in trouble at my house, and we come and hang out over here all day and he's not allowed to watch TV, he's not going to come over here and be like, oh, well, we're at Tiffany's house now.
Yeah.
We want to keep things basically as much as the same as possible.
Yes, keeping it the same, even though it's two different houses, it's the same rules no matter what.
But also with that, there are things that, we do a little differently, because, you can't control everything at both houses, and sometimes you are going to have little differences. We use this example all the time, but it's the only one I can really think of. It's for Michael's birthday last year, Tiffany and I went and took him to a place, and he asked if he could have a soda. I don't let him drink soda. None of my kids drink soda. Tiffany sometimes does for occasions or whatever, and he asked me, and I looked at Tiffany. It was Tiffany's weekend, so I said, no, you need to ask Tiffany. Tiffany said it was fine, even though I don't let him drink soda. I respect her, and that's kind of how we do it, is whoever week it is kind of has the final say.
I think you said it to him when you asked. You said that, you don't allow him to drink drinks, but that it was fine. And then that's when I found out, because I didn't know. It's not something we ever talked about.
Yeah.
And I said, I would say okay because it was his birthday, but especially with him there and watching us, to notice that there was that difference in our answer, we were like, well, this is the perfect time that maybe we should compromise. It is his birthday. It's a special occasion, but soda isn't good for him, and Megan doesn't really want him to have soda, so let's give him a little bit of soda. So I think he only had a quarter of the soda anyways, because it got thrown out. But we compromised and showed him that we compromised, so it's something that we do in front of him, and we do it behind closed doors. Anytime we would have a disagreement, we don't just be like, it's my answer, or she says, it's my decision. We sit down and we're like, what can we kind of disagree or agree to disagree, and what can we find that's the best where we're still both happy and it's not one person getting one way, and also getting the opinions to see maybe someone isn't seeing something, to be like, oh, I didn't think of it that way, so maybe I do want to change my answer. But definitely communicating. Yeah,
and as far as Bryce, if Bryce were to ask for a soda, that would be something that I would have to talk to my husband about, because obviously it's not just my kid.
Yeah.
I would talk to my husband about that, and his answer would be definitely no.
Yeah, he doesn't need it at all. But even with serious decisions, if it ever came to a super serious decision that I know, maybe this is a place where Megan and Mike have to discuss it, because they are the parents, and me and Travis kind of have to just back off and give our opinions, but at the end of the day, they are the two final decision makers, and we understand that and we respect that, so we know our place, and we kind of all work well in that area, that we're not kind of at each other's throats. We can actually sit down and discuss things, which makes things a lot more easier.
Compromise goes a long way. Respect goes a long way. Like I said, if he asked, we were in Target the other day, and he asked me, even though he knew it was his stepmom's weekend, if I could buy him a snack, and I was just like, you need to talk to her. It's her week.
Yeah.
Don't be asking me. And so
until it's 6:59 and he's asking both of us, and we're like, wait a minute. And then the last question we have for today is, do you guys have boundaries with each other? My ex-husband's new girlfriend thinks boundaries are dumb. We 100% have boundaries. Yeah. One of the biggest boundaries we have, we just kind of touched about it, is the whole respecting whoever has the child for that week. So if Megan has the child for the week and something is going on with Michael, or a decision needs to be made about snack food, whatever, something silly where he comes to me and he's like, oh, I know Tiffany's gonna say yes, so let me ask Tiffany. I know that boundary, that it's her time, it's her decision, and I kind of just have to back off and be like, nope, like, you can't ask me, you can't come to me. And just respecting that, and then vice versa, so that he knows that he doesn't, ever come and be like, oh, well, I asked my mom and she said yes, and it's my mom. So we never want that issue of the pinning of any step-parent feeling less than, or us being concerned because children don't realize it, but they're definitely going to run to whoever's going to say yes the quickest or whatnot, and kind of just making sure that we all stand up and stand behind each other's backs.
And make sure everyone feels respected too. Like, you don't want, like she said, someone to feel less than because they're a step parent.
Yeah.
And, we're all parents in this together. We're all trying to raise this kid.
Yeah.
Together, so everyone's opinion definitely matters. Holy shit, look at that crease in my hair right there. I'm going to have to recurl that.
And just setting up boundaries is healthy. It definitely helps make situations where we understand things that bother us. We understand all of our parenting ways and how we handle things. I know Mike and Megan know that I grew up in a strict, household, but it was a very strict, respectable, loving household. So, when I ask Michael to do things, I expect him to do as he's told. And it's not, they have that understanding that I'm not being, that came out my face.
I'm sorry, it slipped out. You can watch the playback. It slipped out of my hair. It didn't even curl long enough.
That I'm not like being mean or anything, and I'm meaning well, where they're not like going behind Michael's back and being like, oh my God, she's mean, or like I would have said yes and stuff like that. Respecting the boundary of that, if we do parents all a little differently, that we're all doing it for Michael's best interest, or both of the boys' best interest.
Be a very well-rounded child.
Yes.
And I did not mean to almost burn Tiffany, for the record.
If that would have been on my face.
Or I almost burned my own damn face today. I saw it.
It's okay. I've burned my hand like 5 or 6 times in this video. And I didn't cry once. But we definitely encourage boundaries. That is, if you don't have boundaries, then you're going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
And especially with co-parenting, like us, when we have 4 different people, we have to be considerate of 4 different people. And even though a lot of we're really similar to each other, we're also very different. So we feel differently about certain things. We have maybe slightly different opinions or views on things. We have the boundaries to kind of just respect that. Megan and I may not always see eye to eye, but that's not something that we should be like, oh, your opinions or views are dumb or something like that. Or, oh, well, it's my week, so I'll do whatever I want. We have that boundary set, that we still want to make sure everyone is heard and seen, and we're doing what's best for the kids.
We really do. And again, this is our first time co-parenting. We haven't been in this situation before, so we're still learning, and we don't have all the answers yet, but I feel like we're doing pretty good. Our kids are happy, we're happy, our husbands are happy, and what else could you possibly want?
We're giving the kids the life that we didn't have, especially with both of us, or how many of us? I think 3 of us being children of divorce. We're definitely trying to give the kids the life that we didn't get to have being children of divorced. So. And
me having 2 kids with I don't want my kids to ever feel like they're missing out, and Bryce is going to be growing up the exact same way, not feeling left out of certain things, and it's great.
Yeah, especially with the fact that we all do things together. Not wanting him to be like, oh, this is like all of Michael's family, like not my family. Like he's included, he's a part of the gang. He got a bonus mom without even having his parents divorced.
And he loves you. It's great. It makes me happy. Because that was, my big thing when I was little was, I had half brothers and stuff, and sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, they would do stuff and I would feel very left out and favored on other sides, and I just don't want my kids to feel like that.
Yeah. So we are so glad that you guys sent over all of these questions. If you guys want us to do a part 2, comment below some questions and we will answer them in the next one. Other than that, we gotta go and get ready because we're going out tonight. We will talk to you guys later, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.